Hello there, my name's Ben, and these are some questions that you put forward about Z1. I thought I'd answer a couple. I was meant to do this video a few months ago, and then something happened, and I couldn't. So let's start. Which song would you say has changed the most from the original version? I think maybe Dissection. But not much. Like, it's still Dissection, but it's changed. Like, to be honest, I never heard the Z1 version. After I made it, I never listened to it again. So when I came back to listen to it, I heard it differently, and I wanted to change it for something I had in my head rather than what was on tape. So I'd say probably Dissection. How's the production for Z Live coming along? Well, that's tricky. So it's in November, as you know, but there's a couple of slight issues with it, which is that we've had like a 2-month gap between rehearsals now, which was not meant to happen. It was my fault, and it's just we've kind of lost a bit of momentum with it. But everything's booked, and everyone is booked, so it's going to happen regardless. Just so we need to kind of crack on with it, and the choreography is complete. It's just we haven't rehearsed it to the music. And other than that, I think with a couple of rehearsals we'll be fine to do the entire set. And really, the good thing about that is who is supporting who comes on before we do, which you'll find about a bit later. But it's one of my favourite bands ever, so I'm really happy that they're involved. Which song? Oh no, there's another one. What was your guitar rig and chain for tracking Z1? So it's tracked rhythm lead, because I'm rhythm obviously. Then there's a guy called Danny who's lead, and for rhythm it's actually 2 amps running in stereo, 2 different amps, both with matched cabs. So I'm using a Kraken. Who the fuck makes that? I'm endorsed by them. Who am I endorsed by? Can't remember. Whoever makes the fucking Kraken, that is being used. And then my Marshall Mode 4, which I've loved for ages. Like, I've got a Dietzel amp, got a Sur amp, which I love, but it's not for this. Using that a lot on Z3 right now. But I think that it just sounds so cool. The Kraken with the Marshall together sounds amazing. And then Danny is using a matchless combi for the lead, which sounds incredible. I mean, I think of matchless as like a kind of AC30 kind of thing, but it's really not. It's an incredible amp. And so that's my guitar rig and chain. Well, I suppose you mean my guitar as well. So Z1 was tracked with the double N7 and the double N6. And then pedal-wise, what am I using? Can't remember. It was a really long time ago now, sorry. I know I'm using my Morley Wah. I've got just to go off topic, I've got like a gold-plated Dunlop Wah now they sent me, because they thought I was going to review it. I didn't review it. They sent it to me, and it's fucking amazing. It looks just like the most bling thing ever. I think you can buy them now as well, but when they sent it to me you couldn't. So my Morley Wah, I always use the classic wah. I just love it. It makes sense to me, that wah. And what's the other wah I like at the moment? One of the Dunlop wahs, the standard stock Crybaby, and the Crybaby Q is really good as well. But so that's the only. It's not the only pedal, surely. What's surprising about Z1 is how little clean guitars there are. I think there's like a couple of spaces where there's a clean pass, but other than that, it's just heavy, heavy, heavy all the time, and like it's fucking heavy. So I use the double N7, double N6, and then I use a Gibson SG Custom as well, which is made for me, which I love, and it's like an extended range guitar, which I'm absolutely in love with at the moment. I'm using that on Z2 as well, because we're tracking Z2 and 3 at the same time. We're nearly finished. There's 2 songs left on Z2, and then there's about 5 songs left on Z3 before they're both done. But we've had a little hiatus in between. I remember mention of a 4-album Z set. Would you say it's worth holding out for the individual album physical copies? On the individual album physical copies of that, you can do what you want. I mean, just steal it. Who gives a fuck about buying it? Just steal them. Seriously, I don't give a shit. But if you want the 4-disc set, which I would like, then just hold out. Just get your friends to rip you a fucking copy or whatever you need to do. I mean, if you want to be really nice, buy the individuals and we'll send you a... I don't know. Actually, I'm not going to say that because I've said things like that before and it goes horribly wrong. So I don't know. It's completely up to you. If you want to hold out, hold out. I don't know how I'm the one having to answer that. But the albums will be released as and when they're complete. So just bear that in mind. It's not like you wait for the 4-disc thing. They're going to be released almost as soon as they're done. Well, like a month after each is complete. So, will the album art for Z1 change? Well, yes, completely. It's because the album has completely changed. I mean, I guess a good example of how it's changed is like Zombie Chronicles, which I think if you're disappointed in Zombie Chronicles, you're going to be disappointed in these remakes, because they're the same songs with tiny little bits changed here and there, but the main theme of each album is completely different now. They're not. It's not what it was before. It's been, I guess you say, the undertone has been rewritten, especially with Z2 and onwards. Like it's really, we're really getting into that. And of course, there's something coming out with the 4-disc set that I haven't really mentioned before. I know some of you know what it is, and you shouldn't know what it is, so don't tell anyone. But there's something coming with those that is like an accompaniment to the records and the story. So yeah, the album artwork for Z1 has changed, and it's fucking cool. They're all really cool. Like, they're exactly how they're meant to be. Like, I'm talk about this really briefly, but I can never listen to Z1. It wasn't right, and definitely the same with Z3. I don't think I've ever listened to it. In fact, when it even came to rewriting those songs, I never listened to the originals. I just had them, either I remembered them or like just the main ones, because a lot of them have been moved and dissected and changed. But like that's had a real overhaul because it was shit, and like it needed both a production overhaul and a songwriting overhaul, because like those songs were taken from, like, I think all the songs apart from one were Z2 songs at the time, and then I don't remember what happened, but like it was just like there was like a rush, and then like we had to release them and they weren't ready. Like I was going through versions of the songs that never released, and they were just never ready. So it's like the versions now are how they were meant to be originally, how I had them in my mind, and versions that I can listen to, versions that I'm proud of, which is good, because there's nothing worse than putting out something that you're not proud of. And now I'm very proud of them, and you know, even the instrumentation, like people who are joining the projects. One of my favourite singers is on Z2, and singing, I think, 2 of my favourite songs on that record as well. And I am in love with him and his talent. And he's just a fucking sick person. He's a good friend. And so it's really nice to have people involved that weren't originally involved, and just general features, because otherwise it's 4 albums of just me singing everything, or me playing guitar. Like we have some featured guitarists now. It just gets a bit, not stale, it's just, you know, it's just nice to liven it up, I guess. What's your favourite song from Z1? I think to play Deadhead, easily. It is ridiculous, that song. Like, even in rehearsals, like the first rehearsals we had, we were fucked playing it like 10 times back to front, we were fucked. So I really look forward to playing that, and it's just so heavy, and there's so many parts of it that I just love. And there's a new part at the end, not a new part, the part's the same as the other. The part existed before, but now there's a major chord of vocals over a minor progression on the lead guitar, and they don't match. Like, they are purposefully fucking each other all the time because they're not supposed to. Majors and minors, although sometimes they work. Now the diminished is now not a diminished, and it's just ploughing into the chordal structure, and it sounds fucked, and I love it. And I know people are going to hate, well, maybe people won't even notice it, but to me it like really rings on your ears, and I love it. So things like that, just playing with the formula a bit, and obviously having John as well drum everything, it's amazing. Although I'm doing the drums for Z3, but he may end up doing them once they're out of demo phase, or they're out of this first phase. But he's amazing. Is Z1 adjusted to fit a new story? Yes, it is. So all 4 records have the same progressing story, which is chronological now, which is nice, because I know before the only way you could figure out what was happening was if you took those Ilia Minya and put them in chronological order in terms of the dates that were referenced, and not all of them had dates as well, so you had to kind of guess. But that was that. More lows like Eyes on the King. I don't know what the fuck that means. But talking about Z4, because that's from Z4. Z4 is different. Z4 is not... I mean, I guess it's the same genre, although it doesn't really feel like it. It's very different. It's a different agenda. Same story, very different time period, which is confusing, I know, but it just engenders something that's really alternative, and I think it's such a cool way to end. Like, the song that is the equivalent of the divider on Z4, it's I think it might be the best song I've ever written, and I've written thousands of songs, and that's saying something. I mean, not really, because they're all shit, but like, to be the best of a bag of shit is cool, and tracking it is the only time I've actually cried through this process. I've cried for many other reasons recently, but not because of tracking vocals. Something about that song speaks to me, and like, I don't know. But anyway, so that's that. And what is happening with the Z1 event? So I've made a video specifically for the people who are going to the Z1 event, but if you're not, then don't worry about it. There will be other events in the future. For instance, the Z2 event, or the Z3 event, or the Z4 event. There's not going to be a Z5 event, I promise there isn't going to be a DLC 5. But there's a lot to do for those events, and they are fucking miserable. And you're very lucky you're not going to the first one, I'll just say that, if you're not going. If you are going, then it's your fault, you wanted to go. So, you know what I'm like, or if you don't, you're going to fucking find out pretty quick. But the other events, the idea with these events is to scale them up each time. So with Z1, I'm treating it like a experiment. With Z2, it will go up a gear. So more people, bigger venue, more horrors, more manipulation, more everything. So I don't know what you think about this. We've had a big fallout here recently about what is deemed as okay to do to human beings. I'm not talking about hurting anyone. No one's really going to die at these things. Like, it's like, I mean, you could leave like a puppy with me as long as you fucking hated that puppy. Like, I'm good with like looking after people, and because like I'll hold a flower and like I'll look down and it is just dead. So I think it's nice to get to experience me. So more people, longer, more things to do, more music, of course. There's Z2, 3 and 4 all to play to you soon. And so the first Z1 thing is just for the Hurt Record Street team. No one else will be attending. I mean, there's label people and stuff coming, but I mean, just in terms of invites, it's just to Z1, just to the Hurt Record Street team, because those guys have been amazing and I fucking love them all, and especially a few of them, and and but then when it comes to the other ones, you can come. There won't be public events. It's not an open door thing, purely because even before you get there, I want to be fucking with you. So there are ways that I can do that, ways that I haven't even... In the comments section, is it wrong to hire an event, hire a location that is sealable, so I can gas people, nice gas, knockout gas, to knock you out? Is that bad? Because it's not like hurting anyone. This is what I was trying to say earlier. It's not like hurting anyone. All you do is fall asleep. And, I mean, you're locked in, I guess, which makes it more tense for you. But, I don't think it's that bad just to knock someone out. Maybe it is, I don't know. I'm losing touch. But, because I was thinking I can knock out, a group of people, plant something on one of them while they're knocked out, and then that person is the only person who has the access to get out of that room. So the others will be berating them to try and get it off them, but then there'll be a clause to say that if anyone leaves that room apart from them, then they'll be injured. I don't know what to do, but something to make it more fun, just because no one's really going to die. It's just it's just making the evening entertaining. Just make something happen. And if someone does I mean, so what? I mean, it's just a fucking thing. It's just an event. So, anyway, so the first one's coming up next weekend, and for the people who are going to it, they're going to be meeting someone. Potentially, if they do well by me, they'll be meeting someone that they've known about for the longest time, and I've known about for the longest time. Because a lot of people don't realise that this person is real. And I mean, it's going to be fucked up.